If two fractions have the same denominator, then comparing them is really easy. Certainly 2/7 is less than 4/7 because 2 is less than 4. Because the denominators are the same, it's like we're comparing slices of the same size, and having 4 slices is more than 2 slices. But if we have different denominators, like 3/4 and 10/12, then we are comparing slices of different sizes, and so the comparison is much easier made if we make the denominators the same. In this case, to make the denominators the same, we need only multiply 3/4 by 3/3. That's the same as multiplying by 1, so it's not changing the value of the fraction. However, it will make the denominator 12, and then we can compare the fractions by just looking at the numerators. In this case, 3/4 times 3/3 gives us 9/12, and now we can see that this is less than 10/12 because 9 is less than 10. And so in total, we found that 3/4 is less than 10/12. And those are our first two examples. But let's practice comparing fractions with a handful of additional problems. Again, if the fractions have the same denominator, comparing them is really easy, like in these two examples. Certainly 5/3 is greater than 4/3 because 5 is greater than 4. It's as simple as that. Similarly, 8/9 is equal to 8/9. The denominators are the same, and 8 equals 8. Clearly, those are equal fractions. We can highlight the problems we've completed. Let's move on to some more interesting examples over here where the denominators are not the same. In this example, we can multiply 4/6 by 3/3. That's the same as multiplying by 1, so it won't change the value of the fraction, but it will make the denominator become 18. Once the denominators match, we can compare the numerators. This gives us 12/18, and so clearly we see this is the bigger fraction, because 12 is bigger than 10. So 10/18 is less than 4/6, because 4/6 is 12/18, which is more than 10/18. In the next problem, we have denominators of 10 and 25. It's not so easy to multiply 10 to get 25, but 25 goes into 50 twice, and 10 goes into 50 5 times. So we can multiply the fraction on the right by 2/2 to turn its denominator to 50, and multiply the fraction on the left by 5/5 to turn its denominator to 50. This will give us 20/50 on the left, and on the right we'll have 14/50. And now it's clear that in fact 4/10 is greater than 7/25, because we found that 4/10 is the same as 20/50, whereas 7/25 is only 14/50. So certainly 4/10 is greater than 7/25. And that's it. If fractions have different denominators, just use some basic multiplication to turn them into fractions with common denominators, and then you can just compare the numerators. Here are a few more examples where even though the denominators are different, if you take a second to think about it, these are actually really easy. In this problem, sure, the denominators are different, but we know that 8 is more than half of 11. So this guy is greater than 1/2. On the other hand, 3 is less than half of 7. So this is less than 1/2. So I know for sure then that 8/11 is greater than 3/7, because this is bigger than 1/2, this is less than 1/2. This is a useful shortcut that sometimes helps to compare fractions with different denominators. In this example, we see that 1 is less than half of 3. So 1/3 is less than 1/2. But 6 is greater than half of 10, since half of 10 is 5. So 6/10 is greater than 1/2. And thus, 1/3 must be less than 6/10. This guy's less than 1/2. This guy's greater than 1/2. The shortcut doesn't work for a problem like this because 7/9 and 12/15 are both greater than 1/2. However, if you have some familiarity with turning fractions to decimals, you can still make quick work of some of these problems. You may know that 7/9 is 0.7 repeating as a decimal, and 12/15 is 4/5, because 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 15 5 times, and 4/5 is the same as 0.8, which quickly makes it apparent that 12/15 is the bigger fraction, because 0.8 is bigger than 0.7 repeating. And so we could conclude 7/9 is less than 12/15. Coming back to this example for a moment, we could have noticed that 4 is greater than 1/3 of 10, because 4 times 3 is 12, so 4/10 is for sure greater than 1/3. On the other hand, 7 is less than 1/3 of 25, because 7 times 3 is 21, so this is less than 1/3. That would have let us conclude that for sure 4/10 is greater than 7/25. So there are occasionally some shortcuts you can use to compare fractions with different denominators, but getting common denominators will always work. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and check out my pre-algebra course and pre-algebra exercises playlists in the description for more. Thanks for watching.
Persistence, couldn't even open myself up for an instant.